What's up, everybody? Alex here from Heavy New York once again. We are at Gold Sounds today, and today we got Brock of 36 Crazyfists. Thank you so much for coming here, man.
Sorry for sweating next to you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You're from Alaska. I'm surprised you're sweating.
It's actually really nice out here. Now that we're out of the South, I'm happy to be up in where there's like real, actual fall weather.
Yeah, you came at the right time, too, because it was like the Sahara here the other day.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So the new record Lanterns just came out, and I was checking it out, and I got to say it is absolutely awesome. And it just came out this past Friday, so how has the recording and the record cycle been in such a short period of time?
Yeah, the recording was great. We did it out at our guitar player's house, Holt's house in Portland, so that was kind of a comfortable setting. We've done it before there, and finished in February, and record came out Friday. We just kicked off the headliner about a week ago, and we were out with Devil Driver, supporting Devil Driver for 5 weeks before that. So I think we've been out for or away from home for almost 2.5 months here.
Wow, that's incredible. And I know you've had a busy year because I know that you were touring with Killswitch Engage around last year.
Yep.
And, you've been doing a lot. Now, with this particular record, were you kind of trying to make a follow-up to the Time and Trauma record, or did you kind of want to do something different in each time?
I think I wanted to stay in the vein of kind of keeping it some more singing, keep it melodic. I mean, not that we are always, I think, fairly melodic, but less screaming, I think. I think it's difficult to have, like, heavy metal riffs with singing over them. I mean, screaming seems to be a little easier to do it, so I wanted to avoid that.
Okay.
And but yeah, so I think it's the same kind of vibe as Time of Trauma. I think it's better musically, more not simple, but more like just rocking and not so tricky here and there. So I think it's easier to follow along as a listener. So it has the dark mood that we were trying to portray. It's lyrically, it's about a pretty low point in my life. Last 2 or 3 years, been some struggles. So definitely that's what the lyrics are about. And yeah, I'm happy to be singing the songs live now. And now we've had the record out for 4 days, I guess. Played in Philly last night, and the whole place is singing the new songs. That's awesome, So yeah, excited about all that stuff.
Yeah. We're excited, too. Now, and it's funny because, you take songs like At the End of August, that's a little more on the more heavier aspect, but then you take a song like An Agreement Called Forever, which I heard you guys are not playing tonight, and but
we haven't played that in 10 years at least.
But I've always thought we're very successful with having heavier and more melodic parts.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's kind of our thing, Yeah, I think so. I mean, everybody needs to have some sort of something that sets them apart from the next guy, right? So I think our thing is, obviously I got kind of a weird vocal, and a lot of people hate it. Some people like it. So, but I think the bottom line to that is it's different. I know that when you hear our band and my voice, it's not that common, I don't think. So, like I said, love it or hate it, it is something that makes us stand out differently than the next band, and that's something I've always been proud of.
Yeah, I've listened to like all the bands like Killswitch Engage and All That Remains, but your melodic vocals definitely stand out to an
Cool.
extent.
No, man, we love those bands, and they're all our friends, so we're in the same world, but yeah, we're a little bit different. I think we flirt in a few different things, and it's kind of been the thing where that's probably why we didn't ever really get too much. We didn't get that big. We're fine. I mean, I'm not mad about it. But since we are a little bit different and we're not right to the point, like you love heavy metal, you love Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, Metallica, Slayer, Testament, you name it. You don't necessarily have to be a big metal fan to like our band.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
I think that being sort of a weird little niche of things, it's not to everybody's thing either. So, like I said, I love what we've created, and but I know what it is. You know what I mean? I know it's not for the masses.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed like you combine like a lot of elements of like punk rock and like new metal and hardcore and metalcore. Like I could see you on like I don't know maybe a Summer Slaughter one day, but a Warped Tour the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could. Summer Slaughter probably a little too heavy for us, but you know, that is kind of the nice thing. We can pretty much do anything we want. I mean, I really don't think that there's. I mean, we're not going to do that, but because we love what we do and we know what we're doing with what we're trying to sound like. But literally, we couldn't have like a death metal sounding jam and then the song "Bandage for Promise" on the new record. If you listen to the opening riff, it sounds like an '80s pop jam. I mean, it really does. And you can't really tell because the vocals are over it. But anyway, yeah. So there's a lot of influences, and we love punk and hardcore and heavy metal and not really. I'm not a real big hip hop guy, but I think I was kind of rapping in the early days of this band, like percussive vocals, like before Bitterness, the independent cassettes we had. There was like it gets a little rappy almost. So I don't know.
We started in '94, right? That
yeah,
was kind of
there
it.
Was some, yeah, right. There was a lot of rap rock going on, and we got named it too. So anyway, but I'm not real versed in that stuff. But anyway.
Yeah. Now, one thing I was curious about, I know the rest of the band is from Oregon, but you're from Alaska. Now, I was curious because as somebody who's listened to you, I was once like Googling, what are some other metal bands from Alaska? And I'm not even kidding. You were the only band that came up. I'm just curious, is there like a metal scene in Alaska?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. First, though, everybody but the drummer's from Alaska.
Okay.
He's the only one from Oregon. But we moved to Oregon in '96.
Okay.
And I moved back home in '03. The boys still live out in Oregon. Anyway, but yes, there's a tremendous heavy metal scene, a tremendous music scene there, period. But it's so isolated, you know. It's not attached to the lower 48, you know. So it gets lost in what probably everything that's going on down here. But there's a killer band called Thera that I wouldn't say they're like heavy metal, but they're aggressive and they have a female voice on that. And then there's a great band called City and Ashes and Old Hounds, and there's a punk scene and a metal scene and a hip hop scene. There's a lot of jam bands too, because it's an earthy kind of place, kind of hippie-ish. But I mean, it's always been really supported by the locals.
Okay.
Because there's not a lot of national acts coming up there. There's more now than ever. But when I was growing up, hell no, there was nothing. A band like us, you never got up there. Our level, no way. There was cover bands. Metallica came twice. Pantera came once. Ozzy came once. White Zombie came once. I think that's about the real heavy bands that ever got up. Slayer, I think, did come there. But I think I'd already moved out of there when Slayer came. Slayer came.
I figured that would be the ideal place for a black metal band to play and stuff like that.
That's the thing, man. It's a dark, cold. I mean, we got the same climate as all the Scandinavian, countries. So, I don't know if there is a lot of black metal up there. I can't think of one, to be honest, but I think there was Bound by Entrails. I saw I don't think they're around anymore, but they looked like they had a black metal name. So
I could just picture people walking around in corpse paint there every single day. So, Lanterns just came out. I imagine it's a brand new record cycle. I imagine after this headlining tour, there's going to be a lot of touring coming up. Is there any tours that you can promote or anything going on like that?
Well, we finished up this headliner in right before Halloween.
Okay.
Fly home. We got November, December off. And then January we go over to the UK, Europe, and do that whole thing over there. And then everything's still kind of getting planned right now, other than the European thing. Australia is in the mix too. Going back to Africa in April.
Oh, really?
So we did that a couple years ago. That was unbelievable. South Africa. And then Australia, I say that. Anyway, I mean, it's pretty much going to be on the road till this time next year, full year of supporting the album. I mean, we'll get our breaks here and there. I mean, I have an 8-year-old daughter, so I don't like being away from her at 3 months at a time, but right now we have to, so she gets it.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine.
And FaceTime is a wonderful thing.
Oh my God, thank God for modern technology. Well, I want to truly thank you so much for your time. Welcome back to New York. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody, Brock of 36 Crazyfists, pick up the new record, Lanterns. It just came out this last week, and you do not want to miss it. Alex from Heavy New York.